everybody, and welcome to the off-season edition of Brooks Knows Baseball. It's myself along with BF John. Today, I think the best thing to talk about would be off-season acquisitions up until December 11th, or I guess December 10th. Depends when you watch this. But I think, honestly, before we start anything, please make sure to check out our previous video with Jake Eisenberg of the Kansas City Royals, the voice of the Kansas City Royals on the radio. That is very insightful interview. I thought it was extremely insightful. Thanks to Jake once again for doing that. But let's go ahead and jump right on into this. I think some big news just dropped, obviously, about some free agent signing, and obviously that's with Andrew Chaffin signing with the Tigers.
Yeah, that's the biggest, hottest news in the last week, I'm sure.
Hey, he's
And
the most handsomest guy to sign, isn't he?
Chafin. Okay, but let's get to the real news.
Like Elroy Jimenez.
Otani, if you'll recall, one of our last interviews when we talked about it, I said he would be a Dodger. Right, I'm right again. What do you think? Is that gonna put them as the World Series favorite?
No.
I mean, he's done so much to lead the Angels to the championship.
So think of it this way. If they were in a 7-game series with the Rangers, who would you pick?
I picked the Rangers.
I would pick the Rangers.
Well, depending on what else they lose.
Otani can't pitch this year, so you're really getting a 270-ish hitter who's going to give you 40 runs. Very good.
DH, right? Doesn't play the field because he can't this year.
No,
I think it's a great move.
I
would certainly take it.
My opinions have changed on him this year. Is he gonna live up to the contract? I mean, that's a pretty lofty goal to live up to, and I think he's gonna be 30 this year, and most players hit a wall, 34, 35, especially flamethrowers. Once, if you rely on your speed for pitching or your whole life, and not always, but a lot of the times, if the speed goes, everything else goes,
Right.
And who knows and he has injury history, so who knows that's a huge number. 707. Like, it's crazy to even say $700 million. Is he worth it? I don't know. We'll see.
Well,
I don't think he's gonna live up to the contract, though. No.
they'll make their money just in
Oh,
international.
for sure.
So I mean, it's not going to hurt them, and they sell out every game anyway.
No.
But
I don't know why.
I mean,
I don't know
I would
why.
certainly.
I don't know. I don't is what it is. I still don't. Being on the West Coast, I know for him closer to Japan, which I guess it's kind of relative, honestly, when you're that far away. But the country, whether or not people want to hear it, is run on the East Coast, right? And I just don't think you get much recognition over there. It's like when he was with LA before with Mike Trout. I probably haven't seen the guy play 10 games ever. And I probably watch 200 to 300 baseball games a year. And
Well,
maybe because they've never been competitive ever since he's been there. But who knows? Now it'll be fun to see him in the playoffs for sure.
yeah, if they make it.
But
The-
even if they make the playoffs, they'll most likely make the playoffs. You're going to see him maybe 4 times a game in the playoffs because he's just a DH.
right. Yeah. Well, time will tell. I certainly would have took him if I could have got him on one of my favorite teams.
Oh,
But
for
hey,
sure.
I mean, he's a great player. There's no question. I don't think he's the greatest player of all time, like some people make him out to be. But
No,
well,
he's very good. Also, we touched on Otani. I think another team, two teams really get to talk about making a lot of moves in the AL East: Yankees and the Red Sox. Red Sox, I think it's a very underrated move. They got Tyler O'Neill, which I think it's going to be. I'm telling you, watch, it's going to be better. They got rid of Verdugo, as I'm assuming he's a replacement for Verdugo. Really, Verdugo's a better.
yeah. Well,
I just,
O'Neill. What's O'Neill's lifetime batting average? About 230.
yeah, he's a Canadian. Give him a break.
He's a overgrown, muscle bound player, which I don't think you need to be in baseball. But anyway, and
Got cool
he's not
stats, man.
consistent.
Pardon. He didn't play much last year, only had 230 at bats, played 72 games. He did not hit well at all. I just think I think it's a solid move. He's a good defensive player, not going to move the needle offensively whatsoever. He's going to be 29. His best season ever in 2021, he hit 34 home runs, 80 RBIs, and 286. He
That's
finished.
his only good solid year he's ever had. Isn't that correct?
It's the only time he's ever played more than 96 games.
Right,
So
because muscle-bound players usually come up with all kind of minor injuries, and I don't know if that's the reason he didn't play or what. Probably because he can't hit.
LeBron
Uh,
was injured, baby.
how about this? The Angels got Eduardo Rodriguez now. His pitching numbers are probably as good.
Diamondbacks.
I'm sorry, that's right. Yeah, I wrote that down wrong. I don't know why what I was thinking. Yeah. Anyway, well that may help put them over the top
I
because
think they
he's a
overpaid like mother, you know what, for him.
well, they 20 million a year for 4.
Yeah,
At
but
today's
is
market.
he
Nah,
is
his
he that
numbers
good?
are good. His numbers are good always.
Uh,
He's. I mean, I would have loved to have him on the team I pull for.
you
They
did.
had him, but they had him, but they let him go for.
Let's see. Eduardo Rodriguez last year, he pitched. Uh, he
He was
doesn't pitch
down.
many innings, man.
He was hurt.
Yeah, well, he's never pitched many innings. He's only went over 200 innings once. That was 2019. Since 2019, he hasn't pitched over 150,
Well,
157
well,
innings.
20 was pandemic, so no one did.
Okay, so in 21, he
He
pitched
had a
157
personal
innings.
issue a couple years ago, and then he
Well,
was
the thing is,
briefly
he
hurt.
had 31 games started in 2021, which is a good amount, but he only pitched 157 innings, so he didn't go deep into games there. In 22, 17 games, 91 innings. Last year, 26 starts, 152 innings. You know, he's a solid player. He's going to be 31 this year soon in April, sort of beginning of the season, he's going to be 31. Let's see. I think it's overpaid. I think he's a solid player.
I
I'm
would have took. But how about what are Rangers going to do? Are they going to lose Montgomery? I've heard both ways. He's coming back. He's not coming back. Have you heard anything?
uh, no, I mean, sources
Good.
tell me he's going to resign. I'm not saying who my sources are, but the sources tell me.
Well, uh, they also lost Will Smith today, who pitched in like 60 games,
Hmm.
had a decent pitcher, pitched eighth, ninth innings.
Kansas City.
He
Why
went to
why did he go to Kansas City?
maybe he wants to be the closer. I don't know.
Yeah,
All the time.
that shocks me. I
Kansas
can't,
City's made a couple little minor moves here in
yeah.
the off season. So which it's kind of how the Orioles did it.
Hmm.
They filled their prospects with some guys like him around him,
Speaking of the
and
Orioles, they got their closer for next
Orioles
year.
they got Craig Kimbrell.
What do you think?
Um, well, I would not be shocked if by the All Star break he was cut from the team, DFA'd, because his last 5 years have been, with the exception of last year, but 4 years before that were terrible. He was, yeah, I mean, if they'd had him 10 years ago, I'm all for it. And he may be great, and I hope he is. I mean, let's see. I did see a couple of things I liked. Looking at my
His
notes.
strikeout rate's
Oh,
really good. He doesn't walk many people.
yeah, he had 23 saves. Yeah, his whip was 1.04. I mean,
It doesn't matter what they do, they're not going to replace Batista. They're not.
no,
Unless they
no.
get Class A or something or Hater, which they're not paying for Hater, and Class A is not going to get traded there, especially
Well,
now.
hey, but speaking of all their moves, wow, talk about the rest of their moves. Oh, wait a minute, they didn't do anything again. Okay, they paid they nickel and dimed. Well, not $13 million, not nickel and dime, but you know what I mean. In today's market, that's nickel and dime, and that's what they did.
Yep.
Now on the flip side of that, real quickly, I don't know that they have to do a whole lot. I mean, when you take Bradish and people out there, if you don't follow the Orioles, don't pay attention, look up his numbers. Rodriguez, second half numbers. He's going to be an ace. Bradish is an ace. They're number one, number two starters. John
Same.
Means came back just like he never left. He was excellent.
Hmm.
Okay, if he's healthy, there's 3 solid starters. I put those 3 with any other 3. Can the Yankees give you 3 starters like that? They
Mm-mm.
give you Garrett Cole and Carlos Rodon's what about 6 ERA and about 15 starts. Okay,
So,
he's hurt every single year he's played.
yeah.
So what can they give you?
So
Uh,
let's see here. The Yankees, is Clark Schmidt coming back? No, they traded
yeah.
him. They traded him. No, they just traded him for Soto, I believe.
Oh, that's that deal.
I believe he
I,
is. So
Schmidt didn't go. He didn't go.
Clark Schmidt did?
No, no. In fact, I'll tell you that's in my notes too. Um, they got Michael King. That's going to hurt him big time. He's a swing man. Kyle Higashioka,
I got
the
you.
catch,
That ain't gonna
good
hurt
defensive catcher, but can't hit.
you.
And then
Trevino's back.
they mortgaged their future for 1 year. Like the top pitcher in all the minors was Drew Thorpe, and he's gone in that trade too.
That's not good. I mean, Soto will help, obviously, but it's not going to put him over the top, I don't think.
But yeah, their offense
You
was
look at
weak.
LeMahieu. So here's their projected lineup. They said LeMahieu is going to be the starting third baseman. He's 35. He hit 243 last year. He's only getting,
It's definitely trending worse
he's not going to get better. Okay. You got Aaron Judge. Aaron Judge is good. He gets
if
hurt
he's
all
healthy.
the time. He played 106 games last year. Then you got Juan Soto. Okay. Soto's good. He's not what he was with DC. He's still a very good player. Then you got Stanton, who will play 3 games.
Well, Stanton didn't hit. Did he even hit 200 last year?
No,
Bat,
Rizzo.
bat 300 at bats still can hit.
So then they got let's see, Anthony
Your
Rizzo, who
first
hit
though.
240.
Well, Rizzo, he didn't hit good.
He hit 240 last year. They got Gleyber Torres.
Volpe didn't hit good.
They have Verdugo, who's a decent hitter, no power. Volpe can't hit anything, and then Austin Wells, who can't hit either.
Right.
Trevino might also get a chance to start. Trevino's just a glove. He's not an offensive guy whatsoever. So, um,
See,
I,
I don't see a big improvement for them,
no,
like everybody seems to think. Now, if Rodon comes back strong, they're going to have to sign some more pitching if they want to be good. You know,
yeah.
they got rid of one of the biggest problems, Severino, who was
This is supposed to,
terrible.
here's their projected starting rotation. Garrett Cole, who's good, Carlos Rodon, Clark Schmidt, Nestor Cortez, and Clayton Beater.
Okay, I
So
don't like
Rodon, wait, listen to
soft tossers.
Rodon
Cortez,
6.8 ERA last year. Rodon, Clark Schmidt 4.6, Nestor Cortez 4.9, and Beater nothing last year. So
so do I start saying? Okay, so I'm saying, would you take their first 3 starters or the Orioles?
Orioles.
Exactly, and then you got Tyler Wells, who led the league in WHIP for what, half the year till he started getting.
Yep.
Hurt. I think he was hurt there. They shut him down, set him down. And
Orioles
then
going to
you
make
got
more moves. They're going to trade somebody. They have to.
who, the Orioles.
Yeah, they have to.
They have to, but they didn't look at the trade deadline. If that's how they're going to trade, they need to not trade because that was
Well,
some ignorant trade.
there's no room. I mean, there's no room for anyone.
No room at the end, is there?
No.
But moving on, everybody knows that. Everybody that follows baseball knows that they haven't done anything. They keep making excuses for what reason, I don't know.
Volpe,
I
I'd
mean,
like
I
to
would
say,
take
is the most overrated rookie I've ever seen in my life, by the way. Go ahead.
Who
Anthony
is that?
Volpe.
Yeah. Well, anyway, and that so I just give you 4 starters. I didn't even mention DL Hall, who's projected possible starter, and Dean Kramer. Okay, so hey, yeah, take Dean Kramer as a 4 or 5 and compare any 4 and 5
I'd
in
take a
baseball.
4 or 5 in Bowie.
No, he has his moments, but anyway,
he'd have his moments in AAA.
Anyway, Red Sox. What did you see that they did that's so special?
Got rid of Volpe. I'm not Volpe. They got rid of what's that redheaded
Justin Turner.
No,
who was pretty much their best all-around player last year. He's gone.
I mean, like I said, they signed Tyler Neal. I saw. Let's see, the Reds continue the winter spree. They add Candelario.
Yeah, the Reds did good, and then they got let's see, Nick Martinez, who was 6-4, 3.43, 1.2 ERA WHIP.
Eric
That might be
shows. The Braves got Kelnick, which I think is good.
I think that's going to be the steal. I think he's going to blossom there, just like everybody else does.
He started coming on really last year.
And think about the people hitting around him now. You can bet anywhere in that lineup, and you got a good hitter around you.
You know what's funny about Kelnick? He doesn't turn 25 until late July, so he's still super young. He had 253 last year, 11 homers and 370 at bats. He started off really good last year, which I was really happy to see because I know he struggled massively in his career early on. But he's been in a lot of places already. Didn't he start with the Mets, I think?
Yeah, they traded him early. I think that's the Diaz, the relief pitcher trade. Yeah. But hey, when I was saying the Reds made some good moves, like I said, Candelario, Nick Martinez, Emilio Pagan. And then getting a lot of people go, Emilio Pagan, yeah, out of the bullpen last year, 69 innings, a .95 WHIP, right?
What do you call that?
Right. So I think that was solid news for them.
The mighty Duck
Um,
man himself. Let's see,
uh,
they got Nick Martinez, the Reds as well.
that's right. Right.
Luis Severino went to the Mets. Just trying to see any.
Louis Severino. Hold on. The Mets got him. That was a genius move. I hope he came there free. He had a 6.65 ERA. He was 4-8 with the Yankees. Okay. He's part of the reason they stunk last year.
Okay, speaking of bad teams, I want to end it with another marquee team who I don't know what
The
the hell they're
Cardinals,
doing. The
right?
Cardinals. There we go. Speaking of
Sonny Gray.
stupid,
Sonny
Sonny
Gray
Gray,
was good.
Lance Lynn and Kyle Gibson, I think combined their ERA was probably like 36 last year.
Yeah, Lance Lynn was 5.73 with the
He must have came on strong because I remember in the beginning of the season it was like it was terrible. Kyle
yeah.
Gibson was a 4.7. So
Oh, hey, you know
what are they
what? That
doing? What are they doing in St. Louis?
I'm flipping flopping here when I mentioned that the Rangers need to replace Will Smith. I forgot they already did. They got Kirby Yates. He's
Hmm.
solid out of the bullpen, so
Yeah,
they're good. Um, Kenta Maeda, he's going. He went to Detroit.
I like Kevin.
So if he's healthy, yeah. How about Eric Fetty coming back from the KBO, where he won their equivalent of Cy Young and MVP? He had 20 wins at .95 WHIP, two even ERA. But I like the Nationals a lot, and he never pitched good for them, never consistently. But the Nationals, I think a little fly under the radar move I like they made was Nick Senzel. If he could stay healthy, he was a first round pick. You know, he can play a lot of positions, infield, outfield. He's fast, and they signed him on a 1 year deal, so they got nothing to lose.
Yeah.
You know, so I'm saying it now, and I'll say it all off season. They're my surprise wild card team in the National League next year. If Corbin finds any semblance of his old self, and maybe if they sign a pitcher or so, they got a few holes. But they've done it before. They may surprise you here. You know,
Maybe.
look,
But they
has
get
Rizzo did that?
Yamamoto.
Has Rizzo done it before? Absolutely.
Aren't they
Remember
trying,
Jason?
I
Pardon?
don't think they're going to spend much money though, because aren't they in the middle of getting sold or trying to get sold? I feel like there's been a rumor.
That's been going on for a while. No,
Speaking of selling,
yeah, there's a rumor the Orioles might get sold. I got to be honest with you. If they won't spend money, if that's even true, we don't know that that's true.
yes, you do know it's true. The owner
Well, how do
from
you know it's true? They used to spend money.
Angelos comes out and says it. He said, "Oh, we can't sign
Yes.
Rutschman and Gunner because we'd have to raise ticket prices." To get the hell out
Yeah.
of here.
Why don't he tell the whole deal? How much? I heard a figure of 325 million off the top every team gets from TV. If that's true, and they own the network that broadcasts the Orioles and the Nationals. Okay, so I don't want to hear that. And I'm tired of hearing small market. That's one major market. He says, "Oh, it's Baltimore, small market." Well, from Baltimore to the North Carolina line throughout Virginia, mostly everybody's an Oriole fan.
It doesn't really
Okay, so
affect the Ravens, does it?
how many times? Well, they got revenue sharing, and it's all equal in the NFL. It's a whole different thing. But how many times you've seen the Orioles numerous times, and you live 200 miles away, and you used to go up? Am I right? So, and a lot of other people do too. Their teams, their farm teams are spread out all over Maryland and Virginia. So that's who people like. The Nationals have never had the foothold, even in Virginia Beach and Norfolk, Virginia, a major, 2 million population area. The Orioles are still way more the favorite than the Nationals.
So if you look at the Orioles, their attendance last year,
It
obviously,
grew.
so it was just under 24,000 a game. In Baltimore, people will go. Baltimore's one of the coolest crowds I've been to because what's really I like when you go there, everyone's in orange. Unless I mean, I remember growing up when the Yankees and Red Sox come down there, they call it Fenway South, but then
That was whenever only when the
when they're
Orioles are losing.
bad. But when they're good, the crowds are great. But like if you look at 2013, they average, just under 31,000 in
Right.
2014. So it'll get back to that again. And especially if they're winning, they have the money. Say the average ticket price is probably
And
80 bucks, 80 bucks. And what's 80 times 30,000? There
And
you
their
go.
stadium is arguably one of the top 5 nicest stadiums in all of baseball. It
Top
still is.
three. There's the only things I would think PNC and Oracle, and then
Yeah, I heard or my yeah. I know someone with
I'm gonna
Oracle
go to
says
PNC this year. I'm gonna make a trip. I got some connections up there, so I might call in some favors and go to PNC this year. But
um
give me one prediction and we'll wrap it up here. My prediction is Yamamoto is going to sign with the Mets and team back up with Kodai Senga, who he knows from his fellow countrymen. I
all
hope
right, well give me Blake Snell, Josh Hader, Jordan Montgomery, Clayton Kershaw.
you may give you all
That's
those.
the best pitchers left. And hey, and how about Michael Waka? Nobody's talking about him. Everybody could have had him last year. He's 14-4, 3.22, 1.1 WHIP. Why does no one want him?
Isn't he kind of old, or she's like 31? I don't know.
Probably. I mean, we'll say you pitched your 40. I mean, Nolan Ryan, look at him. Well, he ain't Nolan Ryan, but anyway, Jordan Hicks out of bullpen. Surprised someone didn't get him. Blake Snell, if you get him, you might as well sign a reliever because he goes average of 5.6 innings a start.
Oof.
He's 14-9, 2.25,
Here's the
5.6
the
innings.
the Red Sox are looking to sign Snow and the Dodgers.
Well, Kershaw, I bet he don't come back. Bet he ends up in Texas if they need someone, if he's healthy at the end of the year. Do you realize that Clayton Kershaw is one of the greatest pitchers in the history of baseball? He's definitely the greatest pitcher of our era. He was he didn't even pitch all the time. Actually, was hurt a little bit. 13-5, 2.46 ERA, and a 0.6.
And his name's Clayton.
Right, badass name. But I hear he wants to go back and pitch for Texas this
Clayton
year.
Kershaw to the Rangers. One report says it's a very strong possibility.
Well, he can go there a couple years, because he could fit in. Because when DeGrom's not hurt, then Kershaw probably will be, and then flip it around, and then Scherzer, and But anyway, what? Okay, so Jordan Montgomery, he, where do you think he's going?
I think it's going back to Texas.
All right, any big trades coming up? Are Orioles going to pull the trigger and get a pitcher? I say yes.
Brain says yes, gut says no.
I know. Anyway, I like Elias developing and drafting, but after that, he's got to prove to me he knows how to put a winner together. Yeah, they won last year. They didn't even expect to be that good. They didn't.
No.
And now natural progression says most of these people like Gunnar and Rutschman and Westberg and on and on and on, they're going to be better. They're good. They're young.
Gunner is when we do our talk about the preseason picks in a couple weeks, couple months probably. Gunner will be my MVP. I'm pretty sure he'd be number one. Him and Corey Seager are gonna be an MVP picks for that American League, like top 3. Obviously, give top 3.
Who's your rookie of the year prediction already? Your early, way too early prediction for our hot stove show here.
Jackson Holiday.
Absolutely. Sounds more and more like he's going to be there, and he's 20.
Or another dark horse, Oriole, Heston Kjerstad. Watch for him. Hell, Kobe too could do it.
Well, here's the thing about Kjerstad and Kalzer. I mean, look at the little World Series, whatever they call it now, AAA championship game or whatever. Norfolk won, of course, the Orioles farm team, loaded with talent on that team. Okay. And who hits the big grand slam in the game? Oh, Colton Cowser, but no, we're going to keep Santander, whatever you're going to call him, and his 12 million or 13 million arbitration rated contract this year, and he's 1 year left. Or you're going to keep Mullins, who was hurt so much, and he had a good 2 years ago. He's great. Then it slowly slipped down each year.
Yep.
So why block these guys? Why draft them? Well, let's just not even draft anybody because you're not going to play them.
Hayes is the only one I'd keep.
They're trying to build a dynasty in Norfolk, obviously.
And it's going to bleed down to Bowie pretty soon.
And I don't think the Yankees are going to be any better unless they sign some more people. I hear some.
I heard they might get Yamamoto though, so that might help them a lot.
Yeah, well, maybe. Yeah. And then as far as Cody Bellinger, where's he going? Jung Ho Lee, Jose Soler, JD Martinez, Teoscar Hernandez. I'm looking at Lourdes Gurriel, Justin Turner, Mitch Garver, Reese Hopkins, Brandon Belt.
I feel like it's
Jock
going really
Peterson.
slow.
Hey, huh?
It feels like it's like so slow this year.
I know they need to put a time limit on the free agent period or something because everybody's excited in the off season. You want to have something going here, and nothing. The winter meetings was dull. I mean, it just
Otani, no, I mean, it was just like nothing. You heard nothing. And then boom, and that's over. No one's talking about it anymore. And then you got Soto, which you kept hearing, kept hearing, kept hearing. It's over. Those are really two of the only big moves of this offseason.
I think so. Our boy Soto after next year is going back to Washington. That's my prediction too,
I hope we
because they're
don't go
going
to
to be
New
ready.
York.
They're going to be ready for the big boy again.
I
And
just hope we
Dylan
don't,
Cruz, huh?
I just hope we don't go to New York. Stay in New York.
No. All right.
I
Well,
like
hey.
Soto. I don't like him anymore, but I liked him until a couple days ago.
Yeah. Yeah. It's funny what a different uniform will make a guy look like, right?
Uh-huh. Well, BF John, I'll let you do the wrap up here, but everyone like, share, and subscribe here. I think we're over 125 subscribers now, so we're getting up there. We want to have what was our now like 225, 250, something like that before the opening day, something like that. I think we can get there. Honestly, I do. Let us know what videos you want to see as well if you're still here at this point. I want to do some. I don't know. What do you think? I like predictions, maybe predictions for the playoff teams. What are they going to do next year? Make some
I
videos.
like that. I like previewing rookies. I like to go over the signings as they happen, the trades, anything just like me and you would normally talk about,
Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
but we end up harping on the Orioles and their lack of trades too much and how much you dislike the Yankees. I do too, but I don't like to say it on the air. But that's just because my team's in that division. I don't like the Red Sox either, you know. And
Well,
anyway,
now you're rambling, big dog. So give us a sign off and come back next week for some more Brooks Knows Baseball.
yeah, that's all for now, folks. We'll see you next week on Brooks Knows Baseball.
Good night,
Good night,
everyone.
John.